Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's coverage of the Touring Kart Challenge League. This evening we're excited to bring you coverage from all of the action in iRacing's virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action from all types of racing, including the weekly Fast Friday series. No matter what you are racing, we can bring the action to life. My name is Alexander Valderas, and joining me in the booth is Nick Stein, with David Kreutz as our producer, and with David Kreutz manning the cameras and himself making the cameras. Nick, Las Vegas is a fast, fun, and difficult track for these drivers to take on. The track is slick and fast with multiple lanes, so these drivers will have to be as smart as they are fast to take home the win. What should we expect to see tonight?
Las Vegas with the Xfinity car is going to be all about keeping the momentum up. This car is severely momentum-based. If you can keep the speed up in the corner, you will be perfectly fine. Of course, you got to save the tires. Las Vegas, it's known for eating up tires. The bumps are horrible here, especially in turns 1 and 2 on the bottom, so may look for some drivers that may run the middle here just to avoid those bumps, kind of keep the tires on it. And of course, got to avoid all the chaos. This track is known for its chaos, but with the field today, I shouldn't expect that much of it.
Field today, we've got a great group of guys ready to go at it again here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Going to be a great race at this 1.5 mile track in Nevada. And going to show up the grid here in a moment when we get the graphic across your screen. And here is the grid. Row 1, we have Christian Leonard and Justin Knoll taking off row number 1. And as we go to cross to row number 2, it's Matt Haas and Seven Hawthorne to take that 4th spot with a 30.235. Going on to row number 3. We have Jake Innes and Kevin Aguilar with a 30.346. Good qualifying effort for him to move him up to the 6th spot in that number 4 car. Moving on to row number 4, Colin Grace and Sam Bolin with a 30.442 in that 8th spot. We're getting to this mid-pack of guys. They're going to want to try and see if they can have a clean race. David Gage in the 404 in 9th, and Christian Barker in 10th with a 31.085. We're getting into the 31s now. So these guys have a lot of time to improve their position throughout this race. And in 11th, Brandon Devine, who did not set a time. Nick, Las Vegas is a great track to race against. A lot of side-by-side racing. These guys are going to get used to being door-to-door with each other practically for a good amount of the race. But one thing that isn't discussed is with the weather conditions tonight, we're going to see that right rear needing to be saved. Track temp's about 81. It's going to get warmer as the sun goes over. What do you think are some key strategy points for these drivers to see if they can come home in victory lane?
Well, of course, you said it best. You got to save the right rear, especially at this track with this car. It is imperative that you save that right rear. But of course, 100-lap race, we're in Sin City, baby, so you got to make some pit strategy calls that may be a little bit more bold than what some other people may think. So we may see that tonight, we may not, but with the Xfinity car, I'm expecting anywhere between 35 to 40 laps for a fuel tank.
So with a tank being about 40 laps, it's going to be interesting to see if we see some fuel mileage, see if one of these guys can stretch it out and make it to the end, or if they come in for a third stop of just fuel and go. These drivers are going to line up behind the pace car coming out of turn 2. Going to get ready for another exciting night of racing, especially here in Las Vegas. We're going to see some guys take some different pit strategies to see if they can come out with the win. I see a lot of tire saving here, as that's crucial if you want to come home in victory lane. The speed here at Las Vegas is so high compared to most intermediate tracks. The on-throttle time is something all of these guys need to keep in mind. With how much there is, even in the Xfinity car, it's going to be a challenge. Saving these tires and keeping that speed and momentum up is going to be one of the biggest keys any driver in this field can learn to master if they want to come home in victory lane here in Sin City. Getting ready to go green here in Las Vegas. This 10-car, 11-car field is going to get ready to take the green flag. We're about ready to go racing here in the TKC National Series Race 3 at Las Vegas. Which one of these guys is going to roll the dice to see if they can come home in victory lane? Pace car makes his dive down pit road. We're going to get off to a blinding restart. They're coming up to the Geico restart zone, and we are green from Las Vegas.
wheel spin on that restart, especially from the leader there. That's just being on the dirty part of the track right there, right on the inside. But it really doesn't matter as the 19 car getting a blinding restart, as you said. That is Christian Leonard in the 19 machine, and he is just absolutely flying right now.
Christian Leonard off to a great start. We saw the field actually start to fall in line here on the first lap. So with still some racing side by side in the back of the pack, these drivers know what they have to do to come home in victory lane, and that is to save the tires. They're going to go across the line, and in the lead right now is the 19 of Christian Leonard. Then we've got the 8 just behind him trying to hound him down, but the 19, loose off before we got to smoke. We got a crash in the back, one car around, and that's the 99 of Christian Barker. He'll tow off the track, and I believe we stay green. Here is a replay of the accident. You see there, he just sends it in a little hard. These things are loose, and he's going to try and save it. And it just grips right back around and head on into the fence on lap 2.
Not the way you want to start or end your race right there outside the wall. That's going to hurt his championship hopes right there. But as you mentioned, we do stay green. Christian Leonard still leading Matt Haas. Can't quite catch who that is in third position right behind them, but he seems to be keeping up somewhat decently.
Matt Haas really trying to make a charge here for Christian Leonard out front right now. Coming off of turn number 2. These guys still have about an equidistant gap from each other. So I guess, they're realizing that, hey, if I want to win this race, I know what I got to do. I got to save my tires, be smart. Already a wreck when someone tried to push the limits of the car. So if I try and just breathe within the lines and stay within the lines, my car should make it to the end. And right now, that's what we're seeing out of most of these guys, but not out of Matt Haas. He is trying to get up to the 19, and he already has. Already under that rear spoiler of that 19, he's going to try and make the move coming out of 2.
Yeah, that's one thing you got to keep in mind with the Xfinity car is with this car, you have to keep the tires within their limits. If you even so much as cross that limit for just a moment, you're going to be regretting it, not only for the next corner, for pretty much the rest of the run as well. But for now, Matt Haas looks like he's going to have the lead over the 19 of Christian Leonard there. And, of course, Jake Ennis right behind him trying to get in on this section as well.
Christian Leonard, the longtime leader in the beginning, now having to concede the position to Matt Haas. He'll slide in right in line. These guys here in the top 4 have all started to catch up to each other, and it's looking up to be a heater of a battle. Here comes Christian Leonard on that top side to try and make something work. Now, usually, I've never seen the top run at Vegas. Usually those first 2 lines are what are the fastest, as Matt Haas is loose. But those 2 top lines, I really haven't seen anybody use. But now, trying to use it right now is Christian Leonard to get that lead back that he had. But Matt Haas is really ripping that paint, and it looks like it's been working. That usually is the line that is going to save the tires much better than all the other lines. But now, Christian Leonard riding on board. He looks at the inside of Matt Haas going into 3.
Going down into turn 3, Christian Leonard making the move, still side by side for the lead. Matt Haas fighting back on that outside, looking off the rear here of Christian Leonard. That is Jake Ennis in a popcorn seat right now watching this battle unfold. Matt Haas clears, and they're going to make contact. Christian Leonard into the inside wall.
Christian Leonard down the track, and he looks like he just barely keeps it outside the wall. No damage on the front of his race car. What an incredible save. Here's a replay of what we're going to look at. Christian Leonard, after, I believe, some contact with Matt Haas, he looks like he just gets to the left rear a little bit, gets sideways, and what a save to keep it off that wall.
Oh my goodness, I thought he had lambasted that wall there, but he somehow kept it out of the wall, and he's going to keep going once again. Of course, that's going to hurt those tires with that huge slide he had. Looking on board here, Christian Leonard through the trial with Matt Haas on this outside. Looks like he slides up, maybe to attempt a side draft. I didn't realize how close Matt Haas was, but wow, what a save by the 19 of Christian Leonard to keep that thing out of the wall and keep his race going.
We've seen a lot of improvements from these guys improving on their car control since Daytona. They were sliding around all over the place. Now, they're making saves like that, so a lot of big steps being made in learning how this car drives, how this car handles on a long run. But now, out front right now, still Matt Haas, but it's going to be in contention. And around the outside goes 7 Hawthorne to take the lead. And now Matt has to do some battle. Oh, and it looks like he's blinking the 25 there. Jake Ennis going to try and put a move on him. And he's going to look to do so. He's sliding around. He's blinking all over the place. But they're still going. Matt Haas going into turn number 3, still behind that 18 car of 7 Hawthorne. He takes the lead. And he's going to start making a gap on the rest of these guys. So he's decided that it's go time for at least him and his team. They're going to go and they're going to make a gap here out front right now.
Yeah, 7 Hawthorne just trying to put an iron grip onto this race to start, and it's going to be one of those races where you have to get your momentum early if you want to be able to be successful, especially in a league as powerful as this one is, with how many good drivers we've seen. Of course, Matt Haas trying that daring strategy at Rockingham, trying to do 94 laps on the tires. Of course, it didn't work for him in the end, but still a lot of courage needed in this league to do good.
A lot of courage and a lot of bravery to try and do an alternate strategy. And that's what we're going to need to see out of a lot of these guys if they want to try and pass 7 Hawthorne. Track position meaning a lot as he scrapes the outside wall coming out of 2. A lot of these guys getting loose and coming up the track. And now Matt Haas is in that catbird seat looking to see if he can take that position away.
Yeah, Matt Haas all the way up by the wall, attempting that Larson line, trying to use the side force you can generate with this car to get some more momentum going off the corner. Not able to work this time as they head down into 1.
Go back into turn number 1. 7 Hawthorne still increasing his gap again over Matt Haas, who actually slid in the wall. Matt Haas goes into the wall, so all of these guys really pushing the limits of how much they can stay on the gas. And now these guys having to control their car as they slide out of 2. I'm just still surprised though here, running almost the wall, these multiple lanes being used, I think is a great sign of what more racing is to come, that you can really use all 3 lanes throughout the racetrack to try and gain some time. But Matt Haas seems to be falling back to a quick 7 Hawthorne out front right now.
Yeah, it seems like Matt Haas may have burned his tires off a little bit there. 7 Hawthorne known for, oh my goodness, is Matt Haas getting incredibly close to the wall there. As I was saying, 7 Hawthorne known for saving his tires really, really well, seems to have pulled a little bit of a gap here over Matt Haas. Of course, Matt Haas maybe burning those tires off just a little bit in second place, as now he's getting caught. I believe that's Jake Ingram in the 85, if I'm not mistaken, in third now.
So far, 7 Hawthorne, the longest leader we've had this race, going on to lead a great amount of time overneath Matt Haas. And all these guys, and he's going to get loose off of 2 as he smacks the wall. He's going to retain his lead. Incredible save as he just barely taps that outside wall, gives Matt Haas a try and go ahead. He's ripping the boards here at Vegas, which is something we don't usually see, but now he's going to have to do battle with the 85 just behind him.
Yeah, that's Justin Noel in the 85. Apologies about that. I don't know where I got that other name I had said from, but he seems to be coming with a pretty good head of steam here. Justin Noel attempting to get back up to the aid of Matt Haas. As Matt Haas is going to scrape the wall out of turn 2. We see that all the time off of turn 2, just scraping that outside wall, ruining your run into the next corner. It's going to allow Justin Noel to get to the inside. Matt Haas all the way up next to the wall, coming off the corner. Matt Haas is going to cut it down low, try to cut off the 85, but Justin Noel, it seems to have worked for now.
So, as it stands right now, a lot of these guys pushing the limits off of turn 2. And what you see when people get way too close to the wall means they're getting on the gas too early in the corner. Trying to keep that momentum up and really using all the track, and Matt Haas is going to do it again. He's going to hit the wall off the corner, cause more damage on his right side. And even though the damage model has improved on these cars specifically, it's still going to hamper your race car, make you slower throughout the run. And now Justin Noel trying to make some moves. He's going to go down to the bottom lane, using that paint to try and wrap around the bottom as fast as he can. And right now he looks faster than Matt Haas, who smacked the wall out of 2 for about 4 laps in a row now, as Justin Noel is going to try and squeeze him up the racetrack. Already running out of room is that number 8, and he's going to hit the wall again, just getting in the gas too soon and scraping the wall.
Yeah, you may think it won't hurt that much, but the more you hit that wall, the more you tap it. As he's going to tap it again in turn 3, the more damage is going to be done to that car, and eventually the brake limits will be exceeded, and that car will be hurting here in about 10 laps if he keeps up at this pace.
A lot of scrapes on the right side of Matt Haas's car as he's made contact with the wall coming out of 2 for about the last 8 laps in a row. So he's going to not do it again this lap. So he breaks the streak, and now he keeps it off the wall, but really showing just how much these guys are just trying to wrangle in these cars. And it looks like Matt Haas is one of those guys kind of struggling to do so. Was looking really fast up in second at the beginning of this race. Now he's falling back due to his own mistakes of just trying to stretch the limits of how much this car can grip coming off of 2. The one driver who has nailed it down to a T, Sam Hawthorne, who still remains in the lead even after he smacked the wall coming out of 2 just a few laps ago, has now increased his lead over second place.
Yeah, he's going to be running all the way up against the wall as well. What that does is it generates a lot of side force for these cars, and it gives you a lot of extra downforce than what you would normally be able to produce by not being up next to that wall. And as I said, using that side force not only allows you to generate that downforce, but allows you to use it by pushing yourself off the wall, therefore, in essence, giving you more rotation, which seems to be what Seven Hawthorne is using to be able to keep the tires on that thing and keep that thing going for a lot longer.
Well, a good example of that side force you mentioned is Kyle Larson last year at Homestead. You could see when he was running the wall, he entered high, stayed on the wall, and it's almost as if a force kept him off the wall. And that's exactly what we're talking about. That bubble that's going to remain between the car and the wall keeps it from hitting the wall, but it's such a fine line that all these drivers have to master before the end of the season when they want to get close to that wall and rip the boards. And a lot of drivers getting loose there in the back of the pack. A lot of guys slinging out the rear end. Christian Leonard, who was originally our leader, now is third. They're seeming to rip the boards as well. And look how close he's getting to the wall. You can see right as he gets his right side on next to the outside wall, his car almost stops going up the track and it stays an equal distance away from the wall, basically the whole corner, until he turns down off of the wall. And that's the perfect example of that side force we mentioned to keep him close to the outside wall and really close to the outside wall. It's Kevin Aguilar smacks it coming out of turn 2. These guys really pushing the limits of how much this car can accept coming off the corner.
Yeah, these cars, it brings back that old meme of these old composite bodies. These are composite-bodied race cars, and they can take a few hits off the wall, but if you keep hitting it, it will break. But yeah, we're seeing, as you said, a lot of people using that side force, and one thing a lot of people misunderstand about side force is they misunderstand how close you actually have to be to the wall for side force to take effect. You need to be right up next to that wall. We saw Christian Leonard almost getting into the wall. That's how close to the wall you have to be for side force to really work. And that's why a lot of people really don't want to do it, because they have to get really close to that wall, which is a very uncomfortable feeling.
Very uncomfortable, as one of the main things as a driver you do best is to not try and hit the wall as much as you can, especially here, because not only does that slow down your momentum, it's going to try and possibly kill your chance at a win. So getting used to being right close to the boards is something that takes a lot of time to learn and a lot of time to master, and truly using that side force is going to be a thing all these guys have to learn if they want to be in victory lane more often. And one of those drivers that definitely needs to brush up on some of that is Matt Haas, who smacked the wall for 8 laps consistently. You can see the damage there, especially on his right rear. That's going to slow him down not only in corner speed, but overall speed. That damage acts like drag on the car, and it slows him down. And I wouldn't be surprised if he has a few mile per hour less on the straights than everyone else in the field right now who hasn't hit the wall or has hit it as many times.
Yeah, he's been on the struggle bus ever since he hit that wall for the first time. Damage is a finicky thing when it comes to iRacing. You could slam into the wall really hard and come out with only a couple of scratches. And in the case of Matt Haas, you could just brush up against the wall and it kills your entire race. It is a very fine line with these cars, especially these cars, on the limit of hitting the wall. Well, of course, you don't want to hit the wall, but the limit of hitting the wall is very finicky with these cars.
Getting used to all of that, trying to do Matt Haas now, trying to rip the boards as well. One thing we haven't mentioned is that while Vegas is a smooth and fast track, it's also bumpy the higher up you go. And there's a few bumps, especially the ones in 3 and 4 in that bottom lane. There's a dip about the center of the corner that these guys have to be sure that they don't hit too hard, because if it hits too hard, your car can go straight up the track. And it's not going to be a good time as you try and save your tires. Seven Hawthorne has led most of this race, been outside. He's been using all these different lanes. Now you can see him taking a longer arc and now getting to the bottom of the corner at the exit of the corner. So taking a very late apex, which is different than what he was doing about 10 laps ago when he was ripping the boards like a lot of these guys were. So everyone trying to see what the leader is doing, trying to keep up with him, and that's exactly what Justin Noel has done. He's actually cut down the gap since when we last saw it. Now he's actually caught up to, I think, almost below a second So Justin Noel really closing the gap, and he's going to try and make a move here in a couple laps on 7 Hawthorne.
Yeah, that's one thing you have to be if you want to be a really good race car driver is you've got to be consistent in what you do. Of course, you also have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess expendable is a good word. You got to be able to run whatever line you are able to. That's one big thing you have to do in these cars is just be able to run whatever line you can. We've seen 7 Hawthorne all over the track, as you said. He's been up by the wall. He's been on the white line. He's been in the middle. He's been everywhere you can be on this track, just searching for grip, searching for lap time, and searching. Oh, man, that's Colin Grace in the wall. Did he save that? He saved that somehow. What a save from that 27.
Colin Grace with an amazing save, and I think he'll go down pit road, but we're going to take a replay and see what happened here. We can see going through 1 and 2 and just starts sliding up the track, and right there, pop, off the wall, turn 2, slides down the racetrack, and an incredible save once again. These guys really getting used to how this car reacts, especially not only to how it reacts when it gets hit. He will bring it down pit road, not only to when it gets hit, but how to save it once it gets loose and swirling around. He'll bring it down pit road, and we're going to go back to our leader, Christian Leonard here. They're trying to catch up, but Justin Noel has really caught up the gap, and now he's probably below about 2/10 now, just a couple car lengths separating these two out front right now. 7 Hawthorne still our leader, but now Justin Noel trying his best, and he's going to look to see if he has a chance to make a move going into 1 and 2.
Heading down into 1 and 2, Justin Noel all the way. He's actually going to be running the middle line here, avoiding those bumps on the inside. 7 Hawthorne goes down to give him a little bit of dirty air. That seems to ruin the run for Justin Noel in the 85 machine. Down the back straightaway, 7 Hawthorne pulling a little bit of a gap as we see someone, I think someone may have been in the wall, coming off of 2 in the background, but our eyes are on this battle right now as 7 Hawthorne doing everything he can to stop Justin Noel from even getting as close as what he is right now in order to make a move. But for now, 7 Hawthorne keeping that lead.
7 Hawthorne still staying in front of a hard-charging Justin Noel. He's been trying for at least the last 5 laps to get around our leader. Longtime leader, 7 Hawthorne, been smooth all around tonight. Justin Noel been running different lanes, but as soon as you see when he gets in that dirty air of the car in front of him, in the Xfinity car, it's not that much of an effect compared to, say, maybe the next gen or especially the truck, one of the cars that has less dirty air. Going on from lap 31 to lap 32 now, Justin Noel peeking down below side, and he'll get side by side with our leader, 7 Hawthorne, the closest he's been all run. And now, just off of the exit, 7 Hawthorne gets a better run and pulls about a car length and a half. Justin Noel just struggling to try and see if he can get side by side, because if he can, then he has an easier shot of making the move. But don't count out Christian Leonard, who has sneakily been trying to close in on these two, and who was leading earlier, and now he'll be just a couple seconds behind just our second place, Justin Noel.
Yeah, that was the difference between running a little bit higher than your competitor right there. We saw 7 Hawthorne getting the amazing run as, oh man, Justin Noel almost getting into the wall there, somehow managing to keep that 85 machine out. Here comes Christian Leonard, though, all the way up next to the wall. Will he be able to attack here? Coming off of turn 4, doesn't look like he has the momentum. Justin Noel picking up a couple of car lengths between him and Christian Leonard, also gaining a couple of car lengths on the 7 Hawthorne there for the lead. Hawthorne all the way up next to the wall. Noel gets to the inside, coming off the corner. 7 Hawthorne gets the run. But Justin Noel has planted that seed of doubt into 7 Hawthorne's mind. He said, I can get to your inside if I want to. It's just a matter of being able to pass him now.
Justin Noel trying to make the pass on leader 7 Hawthorne. He's been trying to make this pass up for the last 10 laps now. Been on his door and right behind him this whole time. Justin Noel is not letting off of this fight. 7 Hawthorne, we haven't talked about him in regards to this battle. He's been having to hold his own on that top side lane, and it seems to be working. These guys seeming to hold on strong, and now that has allowed the two behind him and Christian Leonard and co to try and catch up and make their move. That's Sam Bolin, who has now caught up to the top 4, and now all of these guys having a chance to see if they can go for the lead. Now side-by-side battle between Sam Boland and Christian Leonard for third position. And right now out front, too, is Seven Hawthorne. Now goes all the way up the track. Justin Knoll is going to be side-by-side with him coming off the corner. He's still there, and this is the opportunity he needs to try and pass him.
Yeah, it doesn't work, though, as Seven Hawthorne gets that incredible run off the top that we've been seeing for the last however long this battle has been going on for. Leonard, though, all the way up next to the wall. That's going to allow Sam Boland to get to his inside coming off the corner, but the run off the outside prevails this time once again as Christian Leonard gets clear. And now he's going to set that up to make an attacking move on the 85 with Justin Knoll. Side by side for second position. Justin Knoll on the outside. Christian Leonard on the inside next to the wall. As that's Seven Hawthorne in the wall. Here comes Christian Leonard. Here comes Sam Boland as he's to the inside of the 85 of Justin Knoll. Right in front of this, Christian Leonard to the inside of Seven Hawthorne going through the corner. Coming up off of turn 4, here comes Christian Leonard, not quite clear. He squeezes him up into the wall, but Seven Hawthorne says, no, sir, I am here. I want this position still. Going through the tri-oval and down into turn 1. Seven Hawthorne getting as close to that wall as he possibly can. Still side by side for the lead as going through the corner. It looks like Christian Leonard may clear Seven Hawthorne. Hawthorne, it gets into the wall. Sam Boland now has an attacking moment on Seven Hawthorne, and that's going to allow Justin Knoll to make a look.
Christian Leonard makes the pass for the lead to get back up to where he was when this race started. Now Seven Hawthorne smacks the wall coming at it too, and that's going to leave his lead in jeopardy. And as it did, he got passed by Christian Leonard. And now it's going to be a battle for second. Now trying to get in the picture once again. Justin Knoll going to see if he can use that outside lane. But Sam Boland now going to look to the inside of our one-time leader, Seven Hawthorne. Now slowing down as he had the rocket pace before. Got into the wall a couple more times. And now that pace starting to slow down. Like we were saying earlier, hit the wall one too many times. This car's not going to like it. That composite body can only hold up for so long. But Christian Leonard, like he had before, about a 1 second lead over the rest of these guys. But the battle for second is not calming down at all.
As you say, that's Sam Boland getting clear of Seven Hawthorne. Now Seven Hawthorne having to defend from Justin Knoll right behind this. Hawthorne in the wall again. Off of turn 2, that's going to allow Justin Knoll to make the easy pass for third position. That 18 machine now falling back very, very quickly. As I believe that's another car right behind him. I believe that's for position. Yes, that is. That's Dave Gage in the 404 now wanting a position from Seven Hawthorne, who has fallen off in the last 10 or so laps. Just not able to keep the tires on for the entire run. And now Dave Gage attempting. He's looking into the inside. Nothing there. Going into the corner. All the way down to the white line. Seven Hawthorne trying to go down and defend. Doesn't look like Gage has the speed mid-corner. He gets a little bit loose off the corner, and that's going to allow Seven Hawthorne to pull away just a little bit more. Heading into the corner once again, Dave Gage pulls Seven Hawthorne in throughout the corner, but coming off the corner, Seven Hawthorne's doing something a lot different as there's a little bit of extracurriculars going on ahead of this. That's the 19 of Christian Leonard. What happened here? I believe he may have gotten into the wall off of turn 2. That's going to give the lead to Sam Boland in the 13 machine. Sam Boland, new leader in that 13. Christian Leonard now trying to get back up to him and get that lead back. But a costly mistake from the 19 machine allows Sam Boland to lead his first laps of the day. And now Justin Knoll looks like he wants a piece of the action as well as, oh my goodness, again into the wall, Christian Leonard. Leonard making the same mistake we've seen so many other people make tonight. Mad Haas making that mistake. Seven Hawthorne making that mistake. Just hitting the wall too many times off of 2. Now they're side by side for second. Noel just barely gets to the inside. Christian Leonard goes down to block the move. Going down into turn 1. Will Leonard make the dive, or excuse me, not Leonard, will Noel make the dive bomb? Yes, he will. A lot more speed mid-corner, but it seems like Leonard has the pull off the corner. Will he hit the wall? He keeps it out of the wall this time. He has the run. Coming off of turn 2, he clears Noel. But Noel making another move to the inside as that inside line has a lot more grip. Leonard in the wall. Christian Leonard is in the wall. It's going to give Justin Noel P2, and now he's going to set his sights on Sam Boland ahead of him. Sam Bolin pulling a little bit of an advantage here over Justin Knoll. Christian Leonard getting passed by someone else. Who's that on fresh tires? I believe that's Jake Innes in the 25. On fresher tires than everyone. Yes, that is Jake Innes. Here's the difference between fresh and old tires. I believe these guys are on about 40 lap old tires now. And here comes Jake Innes on a fresh set of Goodyear rubbers. And he is so much faster compared to everyone else. Of course, Jake Innes being a lap down now because of the pit stop. Sam Bolin, he sees this in his mirror, so that's going to plant that seed of thought into his mind that it may be time to come down pit road. Not this lap, as he's going to go all the way up next to the wall once again. And we're going to have to keep an eye on this top 5 here and see who decides to come down pit road, as green flag pit stop should be well and truly underway here within the next few laps.
Pit stop window now open. Sam Bolin now contesting for the race lead. Christian Barker now coming off of pit road, having to stay below that blue line and that blue cone in order to not get a penalty. These guys now about at the end of their fuel run, now coming down pit road, green flag pit stops. That chance is now open. The pit window open to take a full tank and 4 tires, but the question is, does someone try and save it to the end of the race? It may be possible, but I think it would also be smarter to try and come down pit road for just a splash and dash for just fuel and see how much time you can gain. But right now, Sam Bolin still looking strong out front with that. That's the 85 of Justin Knoll just behind him. And these guys, I believe, have gone through the pit stop motions.
No one in your top 5 has pit just yet, and I do not know if these guys have any fuel limitations, but if they don't, fuel window is sitting between 55 and 60 laps for the Xfinity car, so we may be seeing people try to push that 55 to 60 mark just so they can get that shorter stint on the tires to finish this race off. Of course, it only being a 100-lap race, you really have to decide when you want to pit, because that difference between 1 or 2 laps could mean the difference in first and second position tonight. So pit strategy is going to be very, very important here within the next couple of laps.
Well, another thing that's important, as you say, is to thank the people who make sure that you guys see this at home. We're going to take this moment to thank Maconi Entertainment. Maconi Entertainment brings you all the racing action that you can see on iRacing. Maconi Entertainment, Maconi Setup Shop, and Maconi Entertainment. Go to www.maconisetupshops.com. The home of paint schemes, setups, coaching, broadcasting, event promotion, and more on the iRacing service with subscriptions as low as $8 a month. The official setup shop of eNASCAR and official series sponsor of the NASCAR C-Fix series. And a lot of these guys now going on to complete their pit stops. Top 5, I believe, still has not pitted yet. A lot of these guys also trying to see if they can repair a little of the damage. And that's going to be the case for Matt Haas, who's hit the wall a few times, and especially out of 2. That's where we've seen these guys hit the wall, and now he's going to try and look for a move on 7 Hawthorne. He switches lanes and goes all the way back up to the top, and we're going to see what else he can do. 7 Hawthorne now looks to be coming down pit road, and yes, he is, and he's straddling that apron. That's not going to provide for a good pit entrance as he gets loose trying to come in, but he makes pit road speed.
Yeah, pit road speed here sitting at a brisk 45 miles an hour compared to what they're doing about 160, 170 miles an hour. It's quite difficult to get on pit road here at Las Vegas. One of the more difficult pit roads to get onto, not because of the difference in speed, but just because of the banking, as you said. If you even so much as touch that banking while you're braking, that's going to send you spinning. And we've seen it in countless league races. As Justin Knowles in, Dave Gage, that's Christian Leonard in it as well. This is your top 5 right here. Excuse me, your top 3 coming in for their pit stops. I don't believe Sam Bolin has come in just yet. We're still waiting on him to make his pit stop, but for all intents and purposes, this is your race for the lead right now.
Our race for the lead, and the race coming off of pit road. Our top 3 now comes down pit road, as well as other drivers. Here comes Sam Bolin. He's going to make his stop down pit road, and he's going to make his attempt to go down and get 4 tires and full fuel, which is going to be crucial for the rest of this race. Now, pit stops are essentially going to be a reset for these guys who didn't do so well in the first stint. They're going to see what they can improve on as far as tire saving as well as other things that they can make sure that they go on to the end of the race. One of those drivers that may need to reflect on the end of this stint is Seven Hawthorne, who had it loose, and he is loose throughout 1 and 2. And he's going to slide. And a famous quote from one of my best friends, he said, "One slide and you're along for the ride." And I believe that perfectly explains this tire model. With one slide could mean that you won't be as fast as you ever could have been before the slide. So that's what a lot of these guys need to make sure they keep in mind, that sliding those rear tires is detrimental in order to keep up with the rest of these guys here throughout this field.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it right here. Seven Hawthorne having that huge slide, and you can just see him now. He's wiggling and bobbling all over the place in the corners. That's one thing this tire model is notorious for. If you have one slide, like you said, you're along for the ride, not only for that one slide, but for the rest of the race, because it is incredibly hard to get the temps back under control once you have that one slide. And those when those tire temps going up, it is very hard to get them to go back down and just get the control back under you. And I've had it happen multiple times, not only in official races, I've had it happen in league races before, where I've just had a horrible time on a single stint just trying to get the tire tips back into check. And Seven Hawthorne's going to have a fun time trying to get this thing to the end.
Well, I don't know if I'd call whatever he's about to go through the most fun ever, but he's going to definitely have a challenge that these other guys are going to also battle as well if they slide the rear tires. And something to keep in mind is that they need to be able to manage both being fast and saving that right rear especially. But it looks like Seven Hawthorne doesn't matter at all. He looks to be really fast. He's going to put it to the inside of Christian Leonard to make a move off of 2.
Yeah, it looks like Christian Leonard's taking the reverse psychology approach into here. He had the longer stint to start the race. Now he's got a shorter stint. It should be a 52-48 split for these guys. So those guys that were having a little bit of struggles trying to save tires for the long run won't have it as bad. You're still going to need to save tires because, of course, it's 48 laps, and that's going to be very, very difficult to do. But we'll have to see how this plays out for the 19 of Christian Leonard. We saw him really, really quick at the end of that last run, so looks like as we got a little bit of extracurriculars going on in front of this, Justin Noel and Sam Boland getting a little bit chippy for, I believe that's for the lead. Sam Boland to the outside, Noel trying to get to his inside, coming off the corner. Still Sam Boland leading this race. Dave Gage now trying to get in on this as well, as here comes Seven Hawthorne to the inside of the 404 of Dave Gage. Hawthorne, he's got to head his team going. Now he's even with the 85 of Justin Knoll. And here comes Sam Boland lapping the 27 of Colin Grace. That's going to throw a little bit of a wrench into things here for the rest of them. The 85 of Justin Knoll gets held up by Colin Grace. And that's going to be a detriment to these guys in the battle for the lead, as now Seven Hawthorne is all over the back end of the 13 of Sam Boland for the lead.
A lot of battling up front right now here in Las Vegas. One of the best tracks, or at least one of the best 1.5-mile tracks, commonly known as an intermediate that I've seen. All of these guys now trying to straddle that line of both seeing if I can be the fastest guy on track and how much do I need to save to make it to the end of this race. A lot of these guys kind of cutting it close. So a lot of the sliding off of turn 2, we haven't seen as much. These guys trying to reel it in as much as possible, and it looks like they have decided to do that, but still trying to extend the limits as much as they can, using all the track that they have and sliding up all the way to the wall at the edge of turn 2. Now, when you don't hit the wall, that's fast. You know, you want to get as close to the wall as possible. But one thing I've learned from some of these top guys is you don't actually want to be on the wall on the backstretch or the front stretch. Well, obviously you don't want to be on the front stretch, but on the backstretch, you can actually get slowed down if you're closer than half a lane off the wall. So while you want to use as much of the track as possible, you want to be careful that, you know, you want to get all the speed out of the corner that you can, and running that top side lane and getting a good exit off of 2 is crucial if you want to get lined up to make a move coming off of turn 3.
Yeah, that's a funky thing you mentioned with what you said, and primarily, you only see that at plate tracks. You don't want to be running next to that wall, because what it can do is something funky with the air physics on iRacing. It actually side drafts you and slows you down a little bit. Basically, it puts more downforce onto your rear wing. And as you said, you don't want to be up at the wall like I said, you primarily only see that at plate tracks and bigger speedways like Michigan and Auto Club and places like those. But I mean, I'm surprised to see it at a place like Las Vegas, not typically known as one of the faster mile and a half. So I actually didn't know that that was a thing at Las Vegas. So I guess you do learn something new every day.
You know, a lot of these guys, upon learning, they're also going to try and learn how can I be the fastest guy on track and maintain my tires. About a few more, now getting deeper and deeper into this green flag run. A lot of these guys now trying to extend as much as they can, going on to the end of the race. You know, it's one thing to push in the first stint when you know you have a pit stop to both get fuel and tires. But in the last stint where you don't have to stop, it's difficult, and it's going to be different to see how much they push compared to how much they conserve, to see who all can make it to the end. Justin Knoll doing a good job of that right now. We haven't seen him in a lot of trouble, and as I say that, he gets really close to the wall. The person who was into the wall was the number 4 of Kevin Aguilar. We saw him in the wall earlier, now almost ripping those boards up there. But Justin Knoll and Sam Bolin out front right now. These two been going at it for a long time this race and been side by side. So a lot of these guys now pushing, see if they can make it to the end. I believe they all can.
Yes, it should be a one-stop from here, but I'll tell you one thing I'm seeing. I've been sitting here watching. This race has changed. In that first stint, we were seeing a lot of people up by the wall trying to find that grip up by the wall using the side force. But now that rubber's being laid on the track and the track temp's starting to cool off just a tiny bit with the sun starting to go down, we're seeing these guys move to the bottom. And that's one thing I love about how this oval model works. Of course, it's going to be getting upgraded here soon, but the way that the grip can move right now, based on track temp and all those other factors, is honestly not horrible right now. But as I said, it is getting upgraded soon. It'll be a lot better. But that's just one thing I love about how this air model, tire model, all that stuff works.
You really got to know the ins and outs to be fast, especially around a place like Vegas. The high-speed nature of this track, almost a plate track in the trucks, and a really good battle in the AFIX car, which is the next gen. We're seeing a lot of good battle in here in the Xfinity car, but it remains that it's still more older style racing with how these cars kind of drive like boats everywhere. You got to be sure, and you got to be in check with your machinery and the track. These guys got to make sure they know exactly what moves they are making, because it's crucial. You are in tune with both man and machine, and that's no more crucial than here at Vegas with the high speeds here and how much tire saving has to happen if you want to keep that momentum up and still be the fast guy, even at the end of a run. You know, you've got to know some of the secrets, and you've got to know what really makes it happen. And Christian Leonard really using all the track coming out of turn 2 right up to the edge. The safer barrier goes into the normal concrete wall. He used all of the track and then some, slinging that rear end around.
Yeah, he's just doing everything he can to get as much speed as he can out of that car, because he knows Seven Hawthorne is getting ready to start falling off here soon. Seven Hawthorne has been pushing pretty much since he came out of the pits, and we're already starting to see that happen. It's now Sam Bolin is attacking the 18 to 7 Hawthorne. Off the corner, Hawthorne gets that run off the top and clears him. Well, it looks like Sam Bolin has this mid-speed corners, or mid-corner speed, excuse me, as now he's going to be even with the 7 Hawthorne off of the corner. Hawthorne going down to side draft. It doesn't look like it's going to work. Coming down into turn 1, Bolin sends it down on the inside. Hawthorne also sends it in, as well, as they're still even for the lead.
Still even, going side by side, and that is something you mentioned, that mid-corner speed. That's what happens when you save your tires. Now, that looks to me like he's got great right front and right rear grip, able to carry the speed all the way out through the corner, and he's going to pass 7 Hawthorne. Christian Aguilar also trying to make the move. He'll go right down to side draft him, and 7 Hawthorne really looking low to try and make that move and trying to get right next to him to keep up his speed and to slow him down and try to get to Aguilar to not pass him. But right now, Sam Bolin really trying to get out front right now, and that mid-corner speed is really helping him keep up that momentum, and that's really pulling him away right now.
I'll tell you what, I don't know why Seven Hawthorne was racing so hard with Aguilar, because Aguilar's a lap down right now. Of course, he's trying to get his lap back the hard way, but for now, Sam Bolin looks like he's just going to let him go. But yeah, I'm a little bit perplexed as to why Hawthorne was racing that hard, knowing it was a lap car.
Interesting to see what some drivers will do to avoid the dirty air, and keeping a lapped opponent behind you may be a strategy, but I usually think it's best to just let him go. And that seems to be what these two have done. Kevin Aguilar now moving up through the field to try and get his lap back the hard way, and he will have done so. But now it depends on whether or not he is faster completely and can try and pull around to the end of the field. Sam Bolin put on a great move to pass Seven Hawthorne, and someone else who's put on a great move to pass Seven Hawthorne is the man in second. I believe that's the number 25. He has done some great passing throughout this race. He looks to make another great pass here all the way up through second. He's going to actually go back, I believe, on the lead lap now. And he was a lap car moving through the field. So still Jake Innes getting his lap back the hard way. And he'll do just what Kevin Aguilar did. And apparently it looks like Seven Hawthorne has learned his lesson, letting some of these guys by. And that's going to help him here in the long run. One of these guys learning that just letting the lap car by is going to be easier on not only their tires, but also keeps their car in check. You know, when you race someone a little bit too hard, some contact might happen. And that's something you want to avoid, especially this late in the run. And that's exactly what Sam Bolin and these guys in front have done.
Yeah, Jake Ennis right there. He just passed Sam Bolin there, and that puts him back on the lead lap, of course, being the last car on the lead lap now. So we'll have to see if he's able to get back around. But, of course, oh, man! Seven Hawthorne slapping the wall off of turn 2. That's going to allow Christian Leonard to get to the inside there. That's going to hurt Seven Hawthorne big time. That was not a small hit for the 18 machine.
Doesn't look like we can see any visual damage, but don't be fooled. Just because you can't see any damage doesn't mean something else isn't wrong with the race car. That could be slowing him down. Seven Hawthorne with a pretty sizable hit coming off of turn 2. Once again, we've seen that happen all throughout tonight's race. It looks like he does have a little bit of damage on his rear bumper clip. Seems to be bent in. Looking at the 85 of Justin Knoll, who's ran good all race. You know, he's ran inside the top 5 for most of tonight's race. Was running second there earlier, and he has so far been trying to keep up in the top 3 for a good chunk of time, and it looks like he's done so pretty well.
Yeah, Justin Knoll has been honestly a bit of a sleeper pick today. Of course, we've called his name a good bit tonight, but he just seems like that guy that not really many people pay attention to when it comes down to the thick of things. And at 85 machine, he's going to be up there at the end. I can feel it, especially if he can keep the tires on it. He's already starting to pull in the 19 of Christian Leonard there. I don't think he's going to be able to catch Sam Bolin, but if it does come down to it, I do think Justin Knoll could have a really, really good race tonight.
He could come home with fantastic position, get him some really good points on the night. That's exactly what he looks like he's going to try and do. But again, out front still, Sam Bolin really showing who and what it's worth out front in Las Vegas, Nevada right now. He has controlled this end bit of the race after pit stops. Been looking really, really strong. Dealt with the lap cars almost to perfection. And that's going to lead him still to be in the lead over all of these guys. And it's looking up to be a great race so far. You know, we've had not a lot of wrecks. These guys have been saving it. So compared to what we've seen earlier, these guys have really cleaned up, and it's promoting great, great racing. And it's showing us who can really be a championship contender. And it's showing us who can keep that speed up for the race. And so far, it's been really, really good.
Yeah, Sam Bolin, though, he's really, really impressing me right now. He started this race in 8th position, and he's been leading for a while. So that 13 machine, he's got some speed under that car, and it looks like he's out here to play. And he's telling these guys, I'm here for a championship, so you guys better watch out. I really like Sam Bolin and what he's doing right now, and I think he's honestly a favorite right now.
He is a favorite indeed, and one of my favorite things to do is to tell the viewers to go ahead and turn up whatever you have this audio coming through, whether it's your phone, your desktop, or headphones. Get ready to turn it up because we're going to crank it up. Coming back to you live from Las Vegas Motor Speedway in Las Vegas, Nevada. Coming after a Crank It Up, you got to really hear what these drivers are really trying to pack onto this racetrack. And right now, he is still out front. Sam Bowen has controlled this second stint these drivers had after green flag pit stops. He's been out front this whole time, and he has not looked back since after a controlling lead from green flag pit stops.
Yeah, we're coming into the closing stages of this race now, and if he can keep this pace up that he's holding and keep Christian Leonard behind him, who's been lurking behind him for the last 15 or so laps, I think Sam Bowen can come away with this one. But, of course, we're still a pretty good bit away from the finish of this race. I believe we're at 16 or 17 laps to go right now, so as long as Sam Bowen can keep this going and keep it up, I think he can come away with this one. But for now, Christian Leonard, is just sitting there waiting for his prey to make a mistake. And of course, so is Justin Knoll. He is right there as well.
Trying to make anything happen. He's up there ripping the boards, and now Justin Knoll as well. He's sitting in that prime position, just waiting for a mistake. And right now, I don't know if that's going to happen because out front right now, Sam Bowen has really been in control of this race, and he looks to be as stern as they come. He's not made a mistake. He's not hit the wall. He's not even gotten loose. He has absolutely held his own and has held it under control this whole time. He has been looking like he might be the strongest ones off of green flag pit stops, and I don't see any reason why he should be looking back in his rearview mirror.
Well, he's going to be starting to look in his rearview mirror a little bit more because here comes Christian Leonard. Leonard has brought him back for about 6 or 7 tenths of a second. Now that gap's sitting at 3 or 4 car lengths. And Christian Leonard, he is amping up the pressure already, and we're under 15 to go now. So it may be a little bit early for Christian Leonard to start making his move, but hey, we've seen moves made earlier, and we've seen it pay off. So it looks like Christian Leonard's playing the long game.
Seems to be playing the long game, but there's not a lot of time left in this race, and we've seen a lot of these drivers miss time when to go for the moves. And right now, we could see that happen again. Christian Leonard now having to look back as Justin Knoll is looking to get up to that second spot. He's been sitting here watching these two guys, learning how they drive, learning how they're taking the corner. He's going to try and do maybe exactly what they do or exactly the opposite of what they do to try and get an advantage on them, and that looks like exactly what he's been doing to Christian Leonard now as he starts to fall back into the hands of Justin Knoll, looking like he is going to be exactly where he wants him to be That 85 has been ripping that middle lane, watching and peeking out just outside that dirty air, but slipping in just behind to get the slipstream the car in front of him. And now he's caught up to just about a tenth, maybe two, right up to that rear bumper of that 19.
Yeah, right now, if we can keep it on this onboard view, you can really see the difference in driving styles you can have here at Las Vegas. We saw it for just a moment there going into turn 3. Justin Knoll driving in a little bit deeper, but Christian Leonard's able to get that run off the corner. So both ways can work, but if you want to be really, really quick, you want to do what Christian Leonard is doing. You want to be able to let off early and get back on the gas early and get that run, and you can already see how much that's paid off over the last few corners.
Lifting off early and getting in the gas earlier, also known as backing up the corner, is a really great strategy that a lot of people, especially in the oval side, need to learn as they keep up their strengths on these long runs. Getting able to set and sit in that right rear all throughout the corner and basically lean on it to try and get a good exit off the corner is crucial at high-speed tracks like Vegas, to keep that speed up, to keep that momentum up, and to try and see if you can keep pace with all these guys. And it looks like that is what Justin Noel has done really, really well. Been mastering that middle line that is also really fast at Vegas. We see that being fast with the next gen. And, those bottom two most lanes are really the fastest lanes on the racetrack. But if you are a skilled enough driver, you can make the other lanes work. And that's what we've seen all throughout tonight. We have seen all 4 lanes at Vegas really be used. And now focusing on Sam Bowen, our leader, coming under fire from the lap car, the 99. But after he handled these past 2 lap cars, he is just going to let him by on that high side, not going to fight it at all, as Christian Leonard is really ripping the fence. He is tearing down the poster boards on that safer barrier. He's trying to use all of the track, and now it looks like he's been passed by Justin Knoll.
7 laps to go, and Justin Knoll gets past Christian Barker for second place. Does that leave enough time for Justin Knoll to get up to Sam Boland is the question now, as it looks like Justin Knoll is pulling time and hand over fist over the 19 of Christian Leonard. I don't think he has enough time to get up and pass Sam Boland, but I do think he could get up there and maybe mess with him for a little bit and try to make him make a mistake. We'll have to see how this plays out. 6 laps to go now.
6 laps to go from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 9 miles left to cover that these drivers have to make sure that 9 miles is still a ways to go. A lot of these guys, it's only about a 33-second lap, but a lot can happen in those 33 seconds. But Sam Boland has been absolutely in control of the top half of this field coming in to the last 5 laps here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Sam Boland has been absolutely controlling this race. And at this point, I don't know if there's much Justin Noel can try and do to see if he wants that lead.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think Justin Knoll can get up to Sam Boland, but let me rephrase that. I don't think Justin Knoll can get around Sam Boland, but I do think he can get up to Sam Boland and pester him for a little bit. It's a game of, it's super easy to catch someone that's a whole different ball game to pass them, but we'll have to see what Justin Knoll can do. 4 laps to go now for Sam Boland. It's a few miles for him.
Justin Knoll going to try and do everything that he can to try and catch up to our leader, Sam Boland, who has really been outstretching this lead ever since the green flag pit stops.
Yeah, Sam Boland has just been putting on a clinic when it comes to saving tires. Of course, this second stint was the shortest stint on the tires, but Sam Boland didn't have any difficulties when it comes to saving as much rubber as possible, as now he's just got a couple more laps to go. 3 laps to go as he crosses the line.
3 laps to go as he comes across the start-finish line. Now it's time to really see what he has under the hood. He's going to try and maybe not push all the way, but he has a bit of a gap that he can do. Now, coming across the line, it's going to be 2 laps to go here from Las Vegas, Nevada. Just 3 more miles left for Sam Boland to try and conquer. It looks like he's going to do that just the same, but it looks like just behind Justin Knoll is looking to see if he can catch him, but with all this lead that Sam Boland has, that won't be what he wants. I don't know if he can do it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think he's going to be able to catch him. But going down the backstretch, 2 laps to go now for Sam Bolin. He's just got to get through these last few corners, these last 6 corners, now 5 corners. Coming up off of turn 4 towards the white flag, Sam Bolin, 1 lap left.
1 lap left for Sam Bolin. He will cross the start-finish line. White flag flies in the air. It's the Maconi Entertainment final lap. Sam Bolin has been in absolute control ever since the green flag pit stops. Has put on a clinic for all of these other drivers to come home and to come and learn, as he has made his name in the Touring Kart the Touring Kart Championship National Series. He's going to come out of turn number 4, and Sam Bolin is going to come across the line and to be a TKC National Series winner from Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Absolutely dominating performance from Sam Bolin there. Just, oh my goodness!
And a terrible crash for the 99. Smoke in the back of the field, but coming home across the line in that first position, Sam Bolin going to bring it down the racetrack, and he has put on an absolute clinic in the second stint. Looked kind of fast in that first stint, but led 44 laps throughout that entire second stint, and he absolutely took it to the rest of these guys. And I mean, that's just incredible. Come home with the race win after really showing up the field in that second stint. Shows them who can really manage the tires and who can do it well. We're going to look at his burnout, and then we're going to catch it with some of the people who we need to thank to help put this on all the nights that you can be able to watch Maconi Entertainment on Twitch and on YouTube. So, after watching Sam Bolin burn it down, we're going to go along, and before we get the final race results, we're going to get a final chat with the people who make it possible for this to be put on your screens. After we get a message from that, final results up here on Maconi Entertainment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Well, after a great showdown in the deserts of Las Vegas, Nevada, we saw what was a great race between all these guys in the top 3. Sam Bolin comes home with the victory over Justin Knoll. Christian Leonard, who looked like a good, strong force, comes home in 3rd, and so did Seven Hawthorne. Gets a nice top 4 on the night. Could have come home in the win, but it looks like he just kind of fell off a little bit. Jake Innes comes home with a nice top 5. Then it's David Gage, Matt Haas, Kevin Aguilar, Colin Grace, and Christian Barker in the 99, coming home 5 laps down in 10th. Well, Nick, we saw a great race here in the Las Vegas desert. Saw a great race put on by a lot of these guys. Pretty much all of these guys really decided to show up tonight, and it was really just a battle of the best. Any other final points on tonight's race?
I mean, I don't really got much. I mean, it was a really, really clean race. And for a lot of people, a really clean race is something of a very, very lost art if you wanted to take a look at the majority of iRacing. So honestly, it's a very, very good race. I was really happy with how everything went tonight.
Well, not only do we thank all the racers, but we got to thank our race sponsor, Maconi Setup Shop, as well as our broadcast partner, the Touring Kart Championship. Calling the action tonight was myself, Alexander Valderas, alongside Nick Stein, and with David Kreutz running the cameras and producing. Thanks to all the viewers for watching tonight's racing action, and hope you stay tuned in for all of our social media pages for the next race. Thanks to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you at the next checkered flag.